Welcome to another round of Sports Reviews. Tonight, I am reviewing and reacting to the 2021 Scotiabank CONCACAF League draw, preliminary round and round of 16 and on. No predictions tonight, but it's just a reaction of what the draws look like, what I think about each tie. We'll start with the preliminary round. The first preliminary round tie, Once Deportivo of El Salvador versus Comunicaciones of Guatemala. This is a tie that I think is a pretty good one. It's a good tie. It looks like a very close tie as well. I think Comunicaciones is the stronger team of the two, but Once Deportivo has the second leg at home. So, for me, they could easily turn that around if they get a good couple of away goals. They'll know what they need at home, which gives them a bit more of an advantage. So, it's a good tie. It'll be a close one, but Once Deportivo, if they pulled the upset, in my eyes, I wouldn't be shocked. Second preliminary round tie. Preliminary round 2, CD Marathon of Honduras versus Durangan. I think, for me, Marathon should easily beat Durangan. Durangan's a new team in this tournament. Haven't been there before. This is a new team. They have no CONCACAF experience when it comes to the recent times, the recent era. So I think Marathon will definitely use their experience wisely here and go through this tie. That is a prediction, but not like full-on predictions. But I don't know if this tie is going to be a very close tie. I think it's going to be a very obvious where this is going. One team is way more expectations and experience than the other. So, easy as you like for that one. Preliminary round 3, Santos de Guapiles of Costa Rica versus Verdez of Belize. Verdez would have been in last year's tournament if not for COVID cases. They pulled out. That's what RKI went through. And, well, you know, I have a very, very bad memory with RKI. So, yeah. But Verdez, this is their time to finally get their chance and prove they deserve to be in the tournament last year. But they're playing against Santos de Guapiles, who was a runner-up in the first edition, if I'm not mistaken. They went pretty deep in 2017. They're finally back. Santos de Guapiles, they're a good team. They have rebuilt. I'm going to say Guapiles have the experience, but Verdez could pull off an upset, but Santos has the second leg at home. So we'll see that. I think it'll be a great tie. Santos de Guapiles wants to show that they've had history, and then Verdez wants to show that they deserve to be in it last year, and stuff just went horribly wrong for them. So there you go. Now, pot 4, or preliminary round 4. CD Universitario of Panama versus AS Samaritain of Martinique. This is one where I think we have, even though it's two smaller teams, we still have a big team that's a favorite here. I'm not really going to give Samaritain the benefit of the doubt. They came out of the CONCACAF Caribbean Club Championship losing semifinalists. That's not really something that gets me going. Especially with how the format changed in the CONCACAF Caribbean Club Championship. The fact that there wasn't really any Jamaican teams or Haitian teams. Or Calvary, I think, was Haitian, but they got to the CCL. But it was all smaller teams. Like the teams who were in the Shield went to the club championship. The Shield is not a thing this year. And this is a Shield level team. Caribbean Club Shield level team. I'm not really enticed by it. Universitario should easily win this tie as a Panamanian team. Panamanian teams are real good. There you go. Preliminary round 5, Metropolitan of Puerto Rico versus Santa Lucia of Guatemala. I think this may be the tie that the second pot team, the pot 2 team, actually wins. Well, actually, no, Forge is a pot 2 team, but I think they're higher up. But for me, I think Guatemala is better than Puerto Rico. Metropolitan is probably a good team. An okay team for their nation, but I'd say a team from Guatemala would probably work them over 2 legs any day of the week and twice on Sundays. This tie will be fun to watch for goals, I think, but I don't think Metropolitan has a chance. Finally, preliminary round 6, CD Foz of El Salvador versus Forge FC of Canada. Foz was in last year's CONCACAF League, had the upset over Managua in the preliminary round on penalties. But for me, I don't think they're a better team than Forge. I think Forge has the stronger team. They just got Omar Brownie. They brought back Tristan Borges. For me, that's easy for me. They still have Mo Babouli. Great. They still have David Chouanier. Great. They still have a great midfield. They brought in... Who's on defense that they brought in? Another Canadian legend, I think, to replace David Edgar. But they brought in another great center back. There you go. So I'm happy with what Forge has. I think they're the better team, and they should win this tie. And they have a very easy draw when it comes to past the round of 16. So if they don't win either the first round or round of 16, I'm going to be madder than a hornet. All right? And we'll talk about that after the round of 16. Into the round of 16 ties, Alianza from El Salvador versus preliminary round winner 1, Once Deportivo or Comunicaciones. I don't see how Alianza would lose this tie. Honestly, whoever comes out of it, maybe Comunicaciones would give them a harder time. But Once Deportivo, no. But if it's Comunicaciones, it'll be a little bit better. But I'm hoping it's Comunicaciones because I want to see a good tie out of this. Alianza is still the better team. But then again, they pissed on themselves in the CONCACAF League last year. So would they do it again? I don't know. It's CONCACAF League. There's always those types of teams who should do better, and then they piss all over themselves in extraordinary fashion. You get what I mean. But I think Alianza should easily beat either team. Not easily, but they should beat either team and go on to the quarters. Then, Saprissa, round of 16-2. Saprissa of Costa Rica, the runners-up of last year's tournament, versus preliminary round winner 5, Metropolitan versus Santa Lucia. If Saprissa don't curb stomp these boys, even without Johan Venegas, because again, they sold him to Alajuelense, but we saw that Saprissa wasn't a one-man team when it came down to it. And they did win the Clausura in Costa Rica, beating Alajuelense. So they did win the Clausura in a time of chaos and all hell breaking loose for them. They should easily beat whoever comes out to face them in the round of 16. If they don't, I'm sorry, you still have problems, and they're probably worse than anybody could have ever thought, all right? If you don't win that tie, I'm sorry. You're screwed. Absolutely screwed, all right? Just know that. Now, round of 16-3, Alajuelense of Costa Rica, the defending CONCACAF League champions, versus CD Guastatoya of Guatemala. Right. I was making sure. Guastatoya of Guatemala. Alajuelense versus Guastatoya. Guastatoya's been in CONCACAF competition before, and they're a good team, but Alajuelense, even though they lost to Saprissa, they're still on another level in Costa Rica right now. They are the best team in Costa Rica and probably the best Central American team in CONCACAF right now. And I think they're going to at least get through to the quarterfinals on their repeat tour. I don't know why I said revamp. Repeat tour. And this is a team that could repeat as CONCACAF League champions for the first time in the trophy's history, even though there's only 2 more of these left before they expand the Champions League again. They would probably be the best team to repeat of the whole time. I don't think they're going to fall to the repeat curse if they have a chance. But there you go. I think Alajuelense is just the better team by far. You can't stop them. Same with the second known. The 2 of the second known round of 16 ties. Olympia of Honduras versus Inter Moengo Tapoe of Suriname. Now, Suriname is a good nation. of footballers. But the thing with that is a lot of them are from the Netherlands with Suriname connections and citizenship. These ain't the players that Canada faced. Olympia will probably easy slap them around and get to the quarterfinals against Alajuelense, which would be a tasty tie. A tasty, tasty tie. Trust me, that'll be a tasty, tasty tie for sure. Round of 16-5, Club Atlético Independiente de la Chorrera of Panama versus preliminary round winner 6, Foz versus Forge. This is easy for me. This is one of the better teams. But for me, I'd rather have Independiente or Plaza Amador or Motagua or Esteli than Alianza, Saprissa, Alajuelense, Olympia. I'd rather have that as Forge's side of the bracket if they get through the preliminary round. I think Forge could easily beat Independiente. They beat Tauro FC last year from Panama. And, oh, by the way, Forge got Omar Brownie, Independiente's best player. So for me, and they'll have him for this tie, or at least to where he can't play against the team he's loaned from. But I think in CONCACAF competition, you could do that. That's just MLS. But he would play against Kai. And for me, I think Forge will beat Foz. I really do. If it's Foz versus Independiente, that'll be an okay tie, but I'm not going to be happy knowing that should have been Forge. So that's what I'll say about that. So I am doing a little bit of predicting, just a tiny bit, but we'll get a full prediction once the day before the CEL starts. Like that, the Monday before. You'll get that prediction video the day before or something like that on my calendar is what I'm saying. So there you go. But I think Forge versus Independiente, that's a very good tie for Forge. A very simple, not simple, but a very easier tie than what it could have been had they been in the half of death, should I say. I'll take our chances against Independiente, then Plaza Amador, then Motagua or Esteli. Then, speaking of Plaza Amador, preliminary round 3, or round of 16, 6. Plaza Amador of Panama versus preliminary round 3 winner Santos de Guapiles or Verdes, which Santos de Guapiles could come out of that tie as well. But again, I'd like to take Forge's chances against Santos or Plaza Amador than frickin' Alajuelense or Saprissa. I'd rather see them in the final. Because if you win the quarterfinals, you go straight to the CONCACAF Champions League 2022. Yeah, I'd rather take that. You win 2 ties. You win 3 ties. You go to the Champions League as the Final 4 out of 6. You lose in the quarterfinals against teams like Kai and Plaza Amador. At least you'll have the results to where it'll be like you could probably be the 2 best losers in the quarterfinals. No play-in round this year. I wish they kept it, but there you go. At least as a 1 tie, but they didn't. But for me, Plaza Amador versus Santos de Guapiles or Verdes will be a very cool tie to watch. It'll be a very tight tie. I like it. It's going to be a fun one if I can, because there are some Toronto games in between some weeks, and I don't like that. But Toronto first, so sorry if I don't talk about you until the recaps. It's not my fault. I don't make the schedule. I just do what I have to do. But Plaza Amador versus Santos or Verdes will be a very good tie. I think it'll be great. But fun to watch for sure. Very fun to watch for sure. I think it'll be a very tight tie, a very tactical tie. No team is really better than the other. So they're close, so I like it. Then you have round of 16-7, FC Motagua of Honduras versus preliminary round 4 winner, Universitario or Samaritain. Motagua should easily win this. They are a better team, especially if they play Rugier in goal. Now, they've had their problems too. They have taken L's too in very sad ways in last year's tournament. The Olympia game, they didn't do a damn thing, and then they lost on penalties after a howler to Real Esteli. They should have been in the Champions League. But, hey, them's the breaks. Oh, they could play them in the quarterfinals again. Oh, that would be funny. hey, get revenge, right? But Motagua should easily win over 2 legs, I think, in a tie against Universitario or Samaritain. And then finally, the final tie we talk about tonight. Real Esteli versus preliminary round 2 winner Marathon versus Durangan. But if Durangan faces them, it will be a derby, a country derby, for sure. And that's cool for them. But for me, I think Esteli should easily beat either of those 2 teams. Again, I don't think it's a very hard question to answer that they should beat. Actually, Marathon would probably be a very tight tie. Durangan would probably be a easily Esteli win. But I'd say Marathon, Esteli, probably. And I think Marathon may actually be the better team there. But even then, Marathon versus Motagua, I'll take Forge's chances against them. And hey, there could be a little bit of revenge in the semifinals if Forge makes it that deep, because that's who they lost to in the preliminary round, Marathon. So that would be nice. Except it's just for the trophy. But for me, I love it. Esteli versus Marathon, tight tie. I actually think Marathon would probably win that. If it's Durangan, probably Real Esteli. But it's going to be a fun tie to watch. I'd have fun with that one. And we'll see. But Forge, still the big news of this one for Forge FC fans, they have a very easy draw. They have a very easy draw. If they beat Faz, they beat Kai, they either beat Motagua, Esteli, or Marathon, they go to the final against one of Alajuelense, Alianza, Saprissa, or Olympia. Or Santos de Guapiles. Plaza Amador. Plaza Amador, Santos de Guapiles. Then you have Motagua, Esteli, or Marathon in the final, or the semifinal. Then the final is the hardest tie. And then if you can make that run, why not finish it off? I could see them doing it. This is an easy tie for Forge. Easy draw for Forge. Easier draw for Forge, and I'm happy about it. So there you go. With that said, I like the draw. It was a great draw. This video is probably going to do better than the live stream reaction for it because of reasons. But hey, there you go. If you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell all your friends. First off, go subscribe to my Patreon. Link is in the description below. There you go. $5, $10, or $20 a month. Whatever you can muster. Anything is appreciated. Support the channel and also download the Goal Amino app. Link to the app stores in the description. It's no Google Play. I do not have the Google Play link. It is what it is. Also, Saturday, Toronto FC versus Orlando City. SC live and RSR. Live watch along and RSR. And then I'll be in Nashville next week, buddy. You got a lot of vlogs coming with a couple of RSRs as well next week. We got a busy week next week. So there you go. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace.